Hi there, interGHOST here. Welcome to interGHOST House. Today I'm going to do a reaction for the movie Misery, which is based on a Stephen King book, and that is the reason why I'm watching this, because I have recently read the Misery novel by Stephen King and it's a very good read. And this movie, I don't think I've ever watched it, and if I have, I can't remember anything about it. Obviously I know the story because I've read the book, and it would be interesting to see how it compares and how they've changed it for the movie. I believe this one was a 90s movie. I put it on the screen when it was made. James Caan and Kathy Bates. So we'll see how it goes and let's check it out. Can I also ask that you do thumb up the video if you enjoy it, and leave me a subscription if you are enjoying my channel, then that really does help. Thanks for watching. Columbia Pictures. So this is basically a story about a writer who has a car crash, and then when he wakes up he is in a house with a woman who says that she's his #1 fan, but she's really a bit of a psycho. Interesting. I think it's starting where the book ends. Oh no, maybe not. It's just the tradition of the writer that when he's finished a book, then he has his cigarette and drink. So he's just finished his book.
Still got it.
Misery. James Caan, I'm guessing that's this guy. Kathy Bates, I'm guessing she plays Annie Wilkes, which is the female I was talking about. The reason I like this story is because it's one of those pretty much set in one location, one room. I like stories where it's all about the characters and they're all in one room or one situation. Based on Stephen King's book. It's actually set near to where The Shining was set. It actually mentions that in the book, so I wonder if it mentions it in the movie. So yeah, it's interesting that the movie's starting off with him driving and crashing the car, whereas the book, it actually starts with him injured in bed. He doesn't know how he's got there.
I was a writer then.
You're still a writer.
I've been a writer since I got in the misery business.
Not a bad business. And it would still be growing, too. The first printing for Misery's Child was the most ever. Over 1 million.
So yeah, basically he's now writing sort of romance novels about somebody called Misery, and he doesn't want to write that anymore. Here comes Annie. I wonder if that snow was meant to fall in his mouth then. Oh, she's strong.
I'm your #1 fan. There is nothing to worry about.
I'm your #1 fan.
Where?
We're just outside Silver Creek.
How long?
You've been here 2 days.
Yeah, I don't think it's Silver Creek. I think it's Sidewinder.
My name is Annie Wilkes.
My #1 fan.
Yes, that's right. I'm also a nurse. Here, take these.
All seems pretty good so far. I always imagined the room to be a lot sort of smaller and empty.
They're called Novril. They're for your pain.
I think the Novril drug is something that Stephen King actually made up for his books. It's not a real medication.
How come I'm at hospital?
The blizzard was too strong. I couldn't risk trying to get you there. I tried calling, but the phone lines are down. You gotta rest. You almost died. Open wide. Your legs just sing grand opera when you move, don't they?
Will I be able to walk?
Of course you will. And your arm will be fine, too. What I'm most proud of is the work I did on those legs. Considering what I had around the house, I don't think there's a doctor who could have done any better. You have a compound fracture of the tibia in both legs, and the fibula in the right leg is fractured, too. I could hear the bones moving, so it's best for your legs to remain immobile.
That's pretty good makeup effects.
You've got a lot of recovering to do, and I consider it an honor that you'll do it in my home.
I think they describe one of his legs in the book as actually like shattered into pieces, so not quite so whole as he has them there.
Call me Buster. Everybody does.
What can I do for you? I'm a literary agent. I think one of my clients, Paul Sheldon, might be in some kind of trouble.
I'm not sure who this Buster character is.
Client, huh? Well, everybody sure likes those misery books.
I'm pretty sure it's just sort of like general police in the book. There's no actual character. Maybe there is and I'm just forgetting it.
It's just that his daughter hasn't heard from him, and when he has a new book coming out, he usually keeps in touch.
You think he might be missing, huh?
Tell me I'm being silly.
Oh, a little overprotective, maybe. But tell you what I'll do. I'll put his name through our system. If anything turns up, I'll call you right back.
Is that his system, is it? Sticky note.
Bye, Miss Sindel.
We got a phone call. Busy morning.
Yeah, work, work, work.
I guess it was kind of a miracle you finding me.
No, it wasn't a miracle at all. In a way, I was following you.
You were following me.
Well, it wasn't any secret to me you were staying at the Silver Creek, seeing as how I'm your #1 fan and all. Some nights I just tool on down there and sit outside and look up at the light in your...
That's different. I think she does just come across him in the book.
Because now you're alive, and you can write more books. Oh, Paul, I've read everything of yours, but the misery novels, I know them all by heart. All 8 of them. I love them so. All done.
When do you think the phone lines will be up? I have to call my daughter, and I'd like to call my agent in New York and let her know I'm still breathing.
Shouldn't be too much longer now. Could I ask you a favor? I noticed in your case there's a new Paul Sheldon book, and I wondered if maybe...
Well, I do have a very hard and fast rule as to who reads my stuff at this early stage. Only my editor, my agent, and anybody that saves me from freezing to death in a car wreck.
She seems like quite a nice person so far. Nothing sinister.
I'll get you your novel, Paul. Forgive me for prattling away and making you feel all oogie. What's your new book called?
I don't have a title yet.
What's it about?
I don't know. I know it sounds crazy, but I haven't written anything but misery for so long. Why don't you read it? Maybe you can come up with a title.
Like I could do that.
So she's not going to like it because it's not a misery book and she loves the misery books.
Anything out of the ordinary?
I don't think Mr. Sheldon likes for things to be out of the ordinary. Considering who he is and all famous and all.
Obviously it's more for the interest of the viewer, but like I said at the start, the story's meant to be more based just in one room. You don't hear about all these other people and what they're doing outside. You're sort of just trapped in the room with Paul Sheldon and experiencing what he's experiencing. And he starts off really confused about what's going on, and then it just ramps up and up and up, and he just wants to get out of there. So this flicking between the police officer and him, it sort of breaks you away from that one room claustrophobia feeling.
Who am I to make a criticism to someone like you? The swearing, Paul.
These are slum kids. I was a slum kid. Everybody talks like that.
They do not. What do you think I say when I go to the feed store in town? Oh, now, Wally, give me a bag of that effing pig feed and...
Here she goes.
At the bank, do I tell Mrs. Bollinger, oh, here's one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christing money. There, look there. See what you made me do?
What?
Sometimes I get so worked up. Can you ever forgive me?
Fine.
I love you, Paul.
It's a bit forwards.
Your creativity. That's all I meant.
Although in the story the police do come up to the house once or twice, and she has to like keep him quiet so they don't know that he's been kept in the room. So maybe this is that character. Hello.
Virginia, when you're in this car, you're not my wife, you're my deputy.
Well, this deputy'd rather be home under the covers with the sheriff.
See that broken limb?
Could have been the weight of the snow.
Yeah, could have been a rotten branch, could have been a lot of things.
Looks like there's already footprints there.
Need some help? No, I'm enjoying myself.
There's the car.
You really think Sheldon's out there?
I hope not. If he is, he's dead.
That was a good swinging shot there when the car went past. I like that.
Look what I got. They had it at the store, Paul. There was a whole batch of them there. And as soon as I saw it, I slammed my money down. I got the first copy. I called the hospital, and I talked to the head orthopedic surgeon, and I told him who you were and what had happened.
He also gets really addicted to the, is it Novodil? And that's how she sort of keeps control over him, because he just has to keep begging for the pain relief, because without them, he's in like really serious pain.
Oh, Paul. What a poet you are. And I'm on page 75.
I guess that means it's okay.
No. No, it isn't. It's not just great. It's perfect.
Is that bars on the windows? A pig? Bit weird.
I thought it was time you two should meet. Paul, say hello to my favorite beast in the whole world. My sow, Misery. Yes, I told you I was your #1 fan.
Now, there is pigs in the book, but they live outside. You can hear them screaming for food when she disappears, but it doesn't come into the house.
I'm on page 300 now, Paul. And it's better than perfect. It's divine. What's the ceiling that Dago painted?
The Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, that and Misery's Child. Those are the only two divine things ever in this world.
Okay.
When my husband left me, I wasn't prepared. It wasn't an easy time. For a while, I thought I might go crazy.
Might go crazy.
I know how that can be.
What I did to get through it was I dove into work. Days, nights, I did a lot of reading. That was when I first discovered Misery. Of course, I suppose you had a little something to do with that, too.
Yeah, well,
I've only got 2 chapters to go on this one, and I know when I finish, I'll just turn right to the first page and start reading it all over again.
Never understood people who reread books over and over. I've got too many books to read. I ain't got time to reread books.
I'd love to stay here and chat, but I'm right at the end, and I gotta find out what happens.
See, he doesn't seem to be in that much pain at the moment. I know it gets worse, but in the book he's sort of fighting between pain and addiction.
You dirty bird. How could you?
Dirty bird.
She can't be dead. Misery Chastain cannot be dead.
Annie, in 1871, women often died in childbirth. But her spirit is the important thing, and Misery's spirit is still alive.
I don't want her dead! I want her! And you murdered her!
Well, that will trigger her.
She died. She just slipped away.
Slipped away? She didn't just slip away! You did it! You did it! You did it! You did it! You murdered my Misery!
Annie!
I think she's got a temper.
But you're not good. You're just another lying old dirty birdie. And I don't think I better be around you for a while. And don't even think about anybody coming for you. Not the doctors, not your agent. Nobody knows you're here. And you better hope nothing happens to me. Because if I die, you die.
So it's taken quite a while to get into the typing the book for her, which again happens quite early on in the story. But I guess they're sort of building up her character first. I'm not sure he has a broken arm in the book either. I think it's just his legs. Now, is the door going to be locked? Yep.
According to the check on Sheldon's credit charges, there's nothing after the Silver Creek.
And no calls about the article either.
You poor dear thing. What are you doing on the floor? I'd had a proper hospital bed. This never would have happened. Here, let me help you back in. Oh. It'll only take a few seconds. Oh, sweet Daisy.
Oh, oh, oh! Wait.
Oh, you're such a crybaby. Comfy?
Perfect.
Such a kidder. I'll get you everything you want, but you must listen first. Sometimes my thinking is a little muddy. I accept that. That's why I couldn't remember all the things they were asking me on the witness stand in Denver.
A little foreshadowing of what happened in the past.
I asked... Paul, you must rid the world of this filth.
She wants him to write a misery book.
You want me to burn my book?
I know this may be difficult for you, but it's for the best.
My agent made dozens of copies. There's going to be an auction in New York. Every publishing house in New York is reading it now.
Then light the match, Paul.
It's no big deal.
So you've indicated. I know this is the only copy, Paul. When you were 24, you wrote your first book and you didn't make a copy because you didn't think anybody would take it seriously. But they did, and ever since, you've never made any copies because you're superstitious. That's why you always come back to the Silver Creek Lodge.
She knows him.
It doesn't ever have to be published. No one ever has to read it. I'll just keep it for myself.
As long as it does exist, your mind won't ever be free. I think you should light the match, Paul.
Imagine spending like a year or two writing something and then somebody wants you to burn it.
Can't you see it's what God wants? You're so brilliant, I would think you'd certainly be able to see that.
You've thrown it all over him?
We're put on this earth to help people, Paul.
That's different.
Help me help you. You're doing the right thing.
Is he going to throw it on himself? No.
Goodness gracious! Oh, my! Heavens to Betsy! Oh, goodness! Oh, my goodness! Heavens to Betsy! Oh, goodness!
That is a bit dangerous, especially as he's covered in lighter fluid as well, right next to it.
Well, isn't that an oogie mess?
That would stink.
And that's the Wilkes farm, straight ahead. That's no 65 Mustang. Well, there's nothing else out this way. Let's circle back.
Here's your novel.
Okay, so he's hiding the drugs now. So he hasn't started writing his book yet. We're quite far into the film. That's sort of like one of the main bits of the story, is that she wants him to write a book for her. So is he hiding them just because he don't want to take them, or is he hiding them to take an overdose?
See, isn't this nice?
Great. I always wanted to visit the other side of the room.
Ooh, and look what I got. Oh, an electric razor. So you can shave yourself now.
If I knew this was going to be the surprise, I'd have burned all my books.
Now, don't poke fun. You just sit tight and I'll set everything up.
Set what up?
That's the big surprise. Your new studio. After all, writers do need a place to work.
You mean write? What in the world do you think I'd write?
A new Misery book.
You're gonna write a new novel. Your greatest achievement ever. Misery's Return. It'll be a book in my honor for saving your life and nursing you back to health. You're gonna make me the envy of the whole world.
You just expect me to whip something off, is that it?
I expect nothing less than your masterpiece.
I will say these actors are playing the parts quite well. They're quite similar to what I see them like in my head when reading the book.
The view will inspire you. You just inhale that. I'll be right back.
Now in the book, one of the keys on the typewriter doesn't work, and he has to fill in all the, I think it's the letter E, by hand using a pencil.
Don't you worry about that. You'll have total solitude so you can concentrate on your work.
Can you actually pick a lock with a hairpin?
I got you this expensive paper to type on, and I got a great deal on this 50-pound clunker on account of its missing an N.
N.
Did I do good?
You did great. There is just one little thing. I can't work on this paper. See, it's crassable bond and it smudges.
But mine cost the most, so I don't see how it can smudge.
Come here, I'll show you.
It does smudge after all. Isn't that fascinating? Anything else I can get while I'm in town? Any other crucial requirements that need satisfying? Would you like a tiny tape recorder? Or how about a handmade set of writing slippers?
Just, the paper will be fine.
Are you sure? Because if you want, I'll bring back the whole store for you.
She gets triggered very quickly.
I go out of my way for you. I do everything to try and make you happy. I feed you, I clean you, I dress you, and what thanks do I get? Oh, you bought the wrong paper, Annie. I can't write on this paper, Annie. You just better start showing me a little more appreciation around here, Mr. Man.
Right on the legs. Well, she's not cutting his fingernails, that's for sure. I was just thinking that's quite a low camera angle. Cameraman must be sat literally on the floor in the corner of that room.
Shit.
Don't. So, I mean, would this really work? Can you do that?
Come on, you've written about this, not do it. I didn't know it actually works.
It actually works.
What a surprise.
Yeah, I envisioned it much more sparse. This is very sort of homely. In my mind, it's more sort of plain walls and a couple of bits of furniture. Well, that ain't gonna work.
You crazy bitch.
Crazy bitch. This is definitely in the book. Her little china ornaments. Oh, he's put that back the wrong way around, hasn't he? There's her stash. Now in the book, the door he can't get through is the actual bedroom door, and he scrapes the paint on the side of the door and she notices it. Get the knife, Paul. There's no way you can get from there back into the bedroom. That'll take some doing. It's this way he scrapes the paint. That's some quick moving. Oh, what about the tablets? The pills?
I hope it's enough. 3 reams of long-grain Benio. Just the kind you asked for. You're dripping with perspiration. Your color is very hectic. What have you been doing?
You know damn well what I've been doing. I've been sitting here suffering. I need my pills.
Let's get you back in bed and I'll get them for you.
I want my pills now.
It'll only take a second.
No! I want my pain to go away, Annie.
It just breaks my heart to see you like this. I've done a lot of thinking on the drive. Here you go. And I'm absolutely certain the main reason I've never been more popular is because of my temper.
Who doesn't let off a little steam every once in a while?
There you go.
Okay.
In case you think of any ideas.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect too much.
I have faith in you, my darling. Catch this. Mwah!
Nice.
Darling.
Yeah, so he's saving up all the pills. They found his car.
We know that he somehow managed to crawl outside his vehicle, but we have been unable to find his body anywhere in the vicinity of the accident.
You don't think he's dead, do you?
He's seen the markings on the door.
Someone pulled him out.
Ah, so he's going to use it to poison her. Just checking if it smells or tastes. He looks mad. And so the story begins.
I'm sorry, Paul. This is all wrong.
What?
You'll have to do it over again. It's not worthy of you. Throw it all out. Except for that part of naming the gravedigger after me. You can leave that in. Paul, what you've written just isn't fair.
Not fair.
When I was growing up in Bakersfield, my favorite thing in all the world was to go to the movies on Saturday afternoons for the chapter plays. And once it was a no-brakes chapter. And the bad guy stuck him in a car on a mountain road, knocked him out, and welded the door shut. And he woke up and tried to steer and tried to get out, but the car went off a cliff before he could escape. And it crashed and burned, and I was so upset. And the next week, you better believe I was first in line. And they always start with the end of the last week. And just before the car went off the cliff, he jumped free. And all the kids cheered. I stood right up and started shouting, "This isn't what happened last week. Have you all got amnesia? They just cheated us. This isn't fair. He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car.
Cock-a-doodie car.
But not you. Not with my misery. Remember, Ian did ride for Dr. Cleary at the end of the last book, but his horse fell jumping that fence, so there couldn't have been any experimental blood transfusion that saved her life. Misery was buried in the ground at the end, Paul, so you'll have to start there.
No cheating, Paul.
Is it fair? Should I continue?
You better. When Ian realized that the reason they'd buried Misery alive was because the bee sting had put her in that temporary coma, and when Gravedigger Wilkes remembered how 30 years earlier the same thing had happened to Lady Evelyn Hyde, my heart just leapt.
Oh, she likes it.
Oh, Paul, can I read each chapter when you finish? I can fill in the ends. Will she still love him with that special, perfect love?
You'll have to wait.
Oh, Misery's alive! Misery's alive! Oh, it's so romantic!
She plays the part really well. I like it.
Annie. Would you have dinner with me tonight? To celebrate Misery's return.
Oh, Paul, it would be an honor.
It's gonna poison her. Or try.
I figured that if I can't find Paul Sheldon, at least I can find out what he wrote about.
I hope you like it.
It looks wonderful. So do you.
Oh.
So has she noticed that her penguin is the wrong way round yet?
Let's have a toast.
A toast?
Yes, to Misery. Let me pour you some wine.
Oh. To Misery.
Wait. Let's do this right. Do you have any candles?
I was just going to say, how is he going to get the powder into the drink?
Did you study decorating, or do you just have a flair?
Oh, you. I just picked things up over the years.
I'm pretty sure you'd see all of that powder in the bottom of the glass. It'd be quite a lot.
If anyone had ever told me that one day I'd be having a candlelit dinner with Paul Sheldon in my own house, I would have checked both legs to see which one was being pulled.
It's perfect. To Misery and to Annie Wilkes, who brought her back to life.
Oh, Paul, I get goosebumps every time I think about it. Oh, 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 oh.
Oops. Don't spill your drink.
I ruined your beautiful toast. Here, let me pour another one.
His face.
To Misery.
To Misery.
There's the pig again. Nice little passing of time shot. So this is him building up his muscles in his arms by lifting the heavy typewriter. Do more exercising.
Here's your pills.
Annie? Annie, what is it?
The rain. Sometimes it gives me the blues.
Oh, she's having a bit of a mental breakdown or episode.
But now I know I love the rest of him too. I know you don't love me. Don't say you do. The book's almost finished. Your legs are getting better. Soon you'll be wanting to leave. I have this gun.
What's the gun for?
Sometimes I think about using it. I better go now.
See, in the book, she smashes his legs up some more when she finds out. I can't remember now. When she gets annoyed with him anyway, she comes in and smashes him across the legs, breaking them more so that he can't escape.
Misery into court.
That's nice.
Again, why is he reading these books? I don't get it.
I will be judged by him.
She's keeping a scrapbook on him. Yeah, so this is similar to the book. So find out that she's been killing children in the hospital, and that's why she lost her job as a nurse. Well, that escalated. So is he going to try and use the knife on her, and that's when she then breaks his legs again? He's going to get caught on a sling or something, isn't it, when he tries to get that out? Never goes right for him, does it?
See you in the morning.
Nice shot from above. I think in the book as well, a couple of police officers come to the house and she kills them, or kills one, from what I remember. Surprise!
Paul, I know you've been out.
What?
You've been out of your room.
No, I haven't.
My little ceramic penguin in the study always faces due south.
Ceramic penguin.
Is this what you're looking for?
Knife's gone.
First I couldn't figure out how you did it. But last night, I found your key. I know I left my scrapbook out. I can imagine what you might be thinking of me. Eventually, you'll come to accept the idea of being here. Do you know what they did to the native workers who stole diamonds? They didn't kill them. If they caught them, they had to make sure they could go on working. The operation was called hobbling.
Here we go. Can break his ankles or something.
Annie, whatever you're thinking about doing, please don't do.
Extreme.
Shh, darling. Trust me.
God's sake!
It's for the best.
Annie, please!
That's pretty bad.
Just one more. God, I love you.
That's pretty graphic, to be fair. Can see why it's a 18 now. Hasn't been much before that. Is he going to put it all together just from that one interaction out on the road, is he?
What the hell is that thing?
What thing?
The thing! There it is, right where it's supposed to be.
What is it?
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe nothing.
So he saw Annie shout at somebody in the street. He's then put two and two together that she's crazy, and now he's gonna think that she's got Paul Sheldon locked up at her house. Because she said something which he wrote down from a book that he was reading. Out of 8 novels that this Paul Sheldon wrote, he's written down a quote which she said at court. It's all a bit of a coincidence, isn't it?
Hi, Pumpkin!
Up yours, man.
Come on, Misery!
Hey, Pete.
Buster,
Do you have any new Paul Sheldon books?
well, we had a batch. Sold them all out in 3 days.
You wouldn't happen to know if Miss Wilkes bought one of them, would you?
Every time that fella writes a new book, she has me set aside the first copy.
Has she been buying anything odd lately?
lest you call paper on.
Newspaper?
No, typing kind.
Typing paper? She must have a writer up in her house. I was just going to say, in the book, I think she knocks him out when the police come.
Cook your meals. I tend to you practically 24 hours a day, and you continue to fight me.
She's going to do chuck him down in the basement. I thought she was going to roll him down the stairs.
Oh, my.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you, but...
What can I do for you?
Well, I was wondering, do you happen to know anything about Paul Sheldon?
Well, he was born in Worcester, Massachusetts, 45 years ago. The only child of Franklin and Helene Sheldon. Mediocre student, majored in history.
Do you want to know anything else?
The kind of information I'm after. You see, he's been missing for quite some time now, and
I know, it's so upsetting. I'm his #1 fan. You in, please.
Thank you.
Of course, you must know all about that horrible accident. I prayed when I heard the news. When I was praying, God told me to get ready, to be his replacement. God told me, since I was his #1 fan, that I should make up news stories as if I was Paul Sheldon. So I went to town, and I bought a typewriter and paper to type on, the same kind Paul Sheldon used.
It's a little bit different to the book, but it's quite cool that she's explaining why she's acting the way that she is.
Must get lonely living out here all by yourself.
Well, I always say if you can't enjoy your own company, you're not fit company for anyone else.
Yeah, I like that little left and right. Good bit of direction. I like she wouldn't hear him walking up the stairs then. What's he gonna say? Just trying to find the bathroom.
Here you are.
Oh, thanks, Miss Wilkes, but I don't want to take up any more of your time.
See little pigs going around the mirror.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, perhaps I could pay you another visit sometime.
I'd be delighted now that you know the way.
What was that?
Miss Wilkes, are you all right?
Here! Here! I'm down here!
Oh, she's gonna kill him.
Mr. Sheldon?
Whoa, wasn't expecting that.
It was bound to happen sooner or later. You and I were meant to be together forever. But now our time in this world must end. I put 2 bullets in my gun. One for you and one for me. Oh, darling, it'll be so beautiful.
That's something to look forward to.
Now, don't be afraid. I love you.
What about the guy on the stairs?
I love you too. And you're right. We are meant to be together. We have the power to give misery eternal life. We must finish the book.
Soon others will come.
It's almost finished. By dawn, we'll be able to give misery back to the world.
Just stuff that down my butt.
I'll fix you something to eat.
You just crawl up those stairs and over that dead man with your broken ankles. In the book as well, one of the other letters breaks. Maybe that's the E letter I was talking about.
Oh, Paul, I'm dying. Does she wind up with Ian or Winthorne?
You'll know very soon. When I finish, I'd like everything to be perfect. I'll need 3 things.
You need a cigarette because you used to smoke, but you quit, except when you finish a book. And you have just one. And the match is to light it. And you need 1 glass of champagne. Dom Perignon.
Annie?
Like the old school pencil sharpener on the desk there. Do you remember them from school?
I'm almost done.
Oh, Paul, this is so romantic. Ian and Winthorne dueling for the right to Misery's hand.
You'll know everything in a minute. Get the champagne.
Oh.
Now, is Lucky Strike a real brand of tobacco, or is that something created by Stephen King as well? Because he does mention that in a lot of his books, Lucky Strike cigarettes.
Did I do good?
You did perfect. This time we'll need 2 glasses.
Oh, Paul.
Just to get her out of the room.
Remember how for all those years nobody knew who Misery's real father was? It's all right here. Does she finally marry Ian, or will it be Winthorne? It's all right here.
Paul, you can't!
Why not? I learned it from you.
Oh!
Misery!
That's gonna hurt in the morning. Oh, nose strike. Oh, this is a lot more dramatic than the book.
You want it? You want it? Eat it! Eat it till you choke! You sick, twisted!
Oh, right in the jewels. Gonna kill her with the pig. About 18 months later, in the book, he didn't actually burn the Misery book. He burnt a stack of paper, and then he uses the Misery book and he actually releases it, and it's his best-selling novel.
This is it. Very first copy. The word I'm getting is the Times Review is going to be a love letter. But for the first time, I think you've got a shot at some prizes.
Great.
I thought you'd be thrilled.
I wrote it for me. I don't think I'm completely nuts, but in some way, Annie Wilkes helped me.
Paul, since you brought her up, I have to ask you this or I'll be drummed out of the agency. How would you feel about a non-fiction book about what went on in that house?
See, Marsh, if I'd have known you better, I think you were suggesting I dredge up the worst horror of my life just so we could make a few bucks. I don't know if anyone could ever totally get over something like that. Even though I know she's dead, I still think about her once in a while.
I don't mean to bother you, but are you Paul Sheldon?
Yes.
I'm your #1 fan.
I just want to tell you I'm your #1 fan.
Knew it.
That's very sweet of you.
I'll be seeing you.
There we go. It's done. So yeah, there we have it. That was Misery, the movie of the book by Stephen King. And yeah, I was pretty impressed. That was a lot closer to the actual book than I was expecting it to be. See, there was a few differences that I mentioned as it went along. The whole thing with the police officer, I think there's 2 different times when police come to the house in the book. There's one where they come out and she kills one of them, and then I think she has to go and hide the body somewhere, and then another police officer comes along who gets suspicious as well. I think she sort of busts his legs a couple of times in the book, but I did like that bit in the movie where she used the block and the big sledgehammer. That was quite gruesome. And the bit where she shot the police stuntman with the shotgun. That was a bit of a shocking moment too. Well, that movie was a very good adaptation of the book. I thought the two characters were really good. Most of the time when they make movies of a book, you sort of think, oh wow, that's not what I would imagine the characters to look like. Obviously it's about a writer, so I sort of had Stephen King-ish in my head as what the writer looked like, and the Annie Wilkes character, I imagined her to look similar to what she did in that, but I think in the book she's a lot broader woman and she's very strong, which they tried to show in this when she was carrying him from the car. I think the ending was slightly different. He gets away, he releases the Misery book, and it becomes a bestseller. I think that was a good movie, worth watching, and I'd recommend it, especially if you've read the book before. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumb up and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. I will be doing some more Stephen King adaptations in the future also, and I don't ask for Patreon subscribers. I do this all for free, so if you can give me the thumb up and the subscription, that's all I'm asking for, and that would make me very happy. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next video. Cheers.